Integrity is everything, and when you're in sales, you must have this. However, it's easier said than done. On today's episode, we're going to tackle integrity for selling with the one and only Mark Hunter, and we'll give you some ideas of ways that you can make sure you maintain your integrity and still get a good income. Check it out. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist Podcast. I'm your host, Donald C. Kelly, the Sales Evangelist. And I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And on this episode, I have the one and only Mr. Mark Hunter, who is going to throw it down when it comes to integrity for selling. If this is your first time listening to our podcast, please subscribe and we'll notify you every time we drop a new piece of content. But on today's episode, we're going to be tackling integrity. And what exactly is integrity? Well, I'm going to let Mark explain that as we dive into the first portion of this episode. Throughout the episode, you'll hear it, but it's one of the things we brought up early on in the conversation. It's important. It's important that you have integrity, and it's important that you demonstrate that well if you want to be able to thrive in sales. Let's dive in, listen to that portion, and I'll meet you on the back end of this episode. Check it out. Mark, welcome back to the show. It is such an honor to have you here, the one and only Mark Hunter.
Hey, thanks for having me. You're awesome. We have not talked in ages. I mean, again, we could have stayed in the green room for an hour, but I guess we got to do a show, right? Yeah.
I know, right? All of you didn't get a chance to hear the behind-the-scenes conversation, but just put it like this. Mark is inspiring. He's very giving, and I know this episode is going to be really dope. You're going to get a lot from it today. I'll brag about some of the things that come about later on. But Mark, you have been doing this sales game for quite some while. I bragged about you. You've written many pieces of content. You've spoken on stage across the globe. Recently, a project that you've been on is that you've started the past 3 years from conversation is integrity first selling. Talk to me about this passion. Why is this even a thing? Isn't there enough things on ethics in sales already?
Well,
I'm using this like it's a mic and I already have a mic here.
Yeah, it's okay. You know what? You would think there is enough out there, but why do we see what's going on in the world today? And my whole feeling around integrity first selling is AI and all these automated tools are absolutely terrific. We use them in our business. I'm sure you use them. They're absolutely, but we cannot forego the value of the relationship, the value of the connection, the value of the ethics and the morals and who that person and company stands for. You know, it's interesting, but surveys galore come out today and say millennials and so forth and younger, they flock to, they buy from, they purchase from companies that they feel are aligned with them. What does this mean? That's not a bot. No. That's an individual. So I really feel we have the ability when we demonstrate integrity to customers and you say, what is integrity? Well, I'll tell you
I was just going to say that. I was going to say define that.
Yeah. First of all, if you have to define it, you're not living it. Because again, your definition of integrity should be just who you are as a person. But it comes down to some basic things. It's honoring your commitment. Absolutely. And it's not selling things, let's put this in a sales context, not selling them things that they don't want. It's not this race to close. It's not the commission breath. It's not, it's week 13. Let me go ahead and make these assumptions or give you these expectations that I know we probably can't deliver on, but I'm going to make quota. No. I got fired from my first 2 sales jobs for doing just that. Because I was treating the customers as if they were a bowling pin. And it was my job to knock them down and take the money and run. And it wasn't until my 3rd job that my boss sat me down and said, you don't understand the customer. You see, selling with integrity means you're listening to the customer. You're on the customer's journey, not your journey. Now, this doesn't mean that I roll over and play dead. I don't roll over and play dead. No. Because I have a firm belief that if I can help you, Donald Kelly, I have an obligation to reach out to you. I have an absolute obligation to reach out to you. And if I don't help you, if I don't reach out to you, I'm actually doing you a disservice. Because I mean, I've got a lot of problems. You just have to ask my kids. They'll say, yeah, Dad's got a lot of problems. And if I knew you could help me, I would want you to reach out to me. And if I
Yeah.
found out later that you didn't, I'd be upset. See, so sales is absolutely a very noble role because we're serving people. Ooh, think
Yeah.
about that. That's really what selling is serving. Okay, I'm sorry. I could go on and on.
This is good. You know, and there's a huge point that you bring up here because I think when you look at it and you share, you know, integrity is that you're keeping your commitments, and also the story about your first couple of sales jobs, and then you tie in this AI. It's very easy to be deceptive. I think it's very easy nowadays to do so. But also beyond that, I feel like you said, what millennials, Gen Zs, people want to do business with other humans.
Yes.
And I feel like we're making this renaissance. I've done it a couple on my episodes where I've spoken about going back how what LinkedIn was when it first started was really a networking platform, right? Where humans connected with other humans, or like a networking event. I feel there's this renaissance for that, this yearning and this longing. And I do feel that it does separate the, you know, sellers from the order takers, or the shysters, the hustlers, where those individuals are more so just trying to, like you said, get the quick buck. But if I have integrity, I'm really going to help you to connect with you on a human level and help you to solve a problem that's really affecting your business, not just automate a bunch of garbage and get you to buy something that you don't need. If that, yeah,
That's huge. That's
yeah,
huge. I want to run with this for a bit.
go for
If,
it, go for it.
if you stop and think about this, integrity first selling means that I don't put a proposition, I don't put a proposal on the table to you until I really understand what your need is. And I got to make sure that what I can do is the right solution for you. And if it's not the right solution, I'm going to raise my hand and say so. And I'm going to help you find the right solution. Integrity first salespeople will sit there and say, you know what? I'm not the right solution, but I'm going to recommend you to somebody over here. Now, here's what happens. You recommend them to somebody over there, and now you've created two fans. You've actually created two fans because we'll say that other person can help them better. Guess what? That other person you referred them to now loves you. Wow, thank you, thank you. So chances are they're going to wind up doing something for you. And the customer, they're feeling ecstatic. They're pleased. They got their problem solved.
Yeah.
So they like you even more. So what you do is you are creating future salespeople for you, because integrity first selling, a measurement of those who sell with integrity. What's the percentage of your business that you're getting by way of referrals and repeat business? Stop and think about that one.
So that's a huge measurement there of your integrity-based selling. It's an indicator over the next couple of years what kind of referrals I'm getting back as people get that back. That's really cool. I'm going to pause on that there. I'm going to go back to another thing that you mentioned. I would love for you to, if you have an example, Mark, of, you know, we all love stories of a situation where you had to tell someone no because it wasn't a fit in your career.
Yeah.
Can you think of any that like that? And as you think on that, I'm gonna paint this picture. Like, I know sometimes that the salespeople, I've been there, Mark, where it's like the end of a month and you need to get some of those numbers, and you're like, dang it, let's just get this thing through. The last thing in my mind is to give up this opportunity I've worked on for the past 3 weeks chasing this person, and I finally get them and they're interested. I know it's not a fit, but I can try to squeeze it in. What's the danger in that? And then also tell me a story, if you have one, of when you did this.
The danger in that is very simply, you wind up with a sale that's not going to leave the right taste in the customer's mouth afterwards. And integrity first selling is about playing the long game. It's playing the long game, because if all I'm doing is chasing this quarter, chasing this month, I'm going to lose. Because what I found is those who sell with integrity wind up having a bigger pipeline. They really do, because they have more opportunities in there. I want to share with you a story I tell about it in my book, and it was near the end of the quarter. I'm a relatively new salesperson, sitting across the desk from a customer, and we've got an item that we got a hot price on. We got a hot price on, and the customer is excited, and I'm going to make my number. This is good. And the customer runs some numbers and gives me an order for an absolutely, it happened to be a consumable, gives me an order that is just absolutely huge, far more than what this company could use, far more. And I'm like, do I say something? Do I not? And I'm a young salesperson, and I'm like, you know what? And it was on the third company too, where my boss sat me down and said, you got to take the time to understand the customer. I was a slow learner. I got this order in my hand, and I don't say anything, and I leave, and I go back to the office, and I walk into the office, and I share this order, and man, people are going nuts. People are heaping praise, and I've never felt this way. This is like ecstatic. Suddenly, any concerns I had fell away, because I'm big man. I'm big man on campus. I'm there, and I got the big commission check coming, and everything's good. And it was funny, but about 2 months later, I get promoted. I get promoted to another area of the country, and I totally forget about this customer. Totally forget about it. At a sales kickoff meeting a couple years later,
Oh no!
I run into the account manager who has taken over that account, and he goes, "Mark, I don't think that customer would ever want to see you again." Yeah, because they wound up having to just literally dispose of half of the inventory.
Oh my!
He said, "Mark," he said, "the issues that I had taking over that account after you left were incredible. We lost so much business because it was consumables, orders coming in on a regular basis.
Yeah.
He said it took me a good 6 months to a year to get that business back."
Wow.
See, Mark, you took the short-term sale, got a big order. Should have said something, but boy, the accolades from the, salespeople in the office, yeah, right on. This is the problem. We can get drunk on our success.
Yeah.
Because of the accolades of others.
Wow.
And integrity first selling is about staying balanced. You know what your North Star is. And I should have stopped that order from going through, period.
Yeah. And that's a hard lesson.
Oh.
But I imagine obviously you're speaking about it years later, and it's in your book. And is it one in the book?
Yes, it's early in the book. And this is the challenge, because remember, I had been fired from 2 sales companies already.
Yeah.
Now I was on my third one. And my boss had told me, so you got to understand the customer, yada, yada, yada. But I knew that, wait a minute, I got to make my number. I got to make my number. Because if I keep falling short, I'm going to get fired from this. And that's not the way you want to start life. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's powerful to be able to walk away with that type of that knowledge. Mark, there's something you mentioned early on, and I think it was you shared how your manager kind of helped you sit down. I'm thinking of the 2 companies before that. The managers let you go, or management let you go. I don't know from what was the exact reason, if it tied to that, but exactly. But the point that I find when it comes to the end of the month, there is that pressure that does come from leadership. Talk to leadership for a second when it comes to integrity selling. I've had people, kind of turn a blind eye to something that, they want to get done or seen in. Fortunately, my integrity caused me not to do some of those things. But what would you speak to management about regarding this, so they don't? We need pressure. We need to have accountability, but we need to ensure that we're doing it properly. Just give me. Yeah, I'm open.
This is a slippery slope, because it's different between a family, a privately held company, a publicly held company, or one that's VC PE controlled. Okay, I mean, if it, and I did a short-term stint as a CRO for a PE controlled company. And there's an expression I have that they always are going to get their numbers at the end of the quarter. It's either volume or dead bodies. One of the way they're going to get their numbers. Here's the thing that I tell sales managers. First of all, you have got to demonstrate the same level of integrity that you want your people to. And this is where so many people go wrong. Sales leaders find themselves, I'm going to go in and be the closer. I'm going to be the left-handed pitcher who comes in the 8th inning to take care of the last 6 outs and win the game. That is a wrong role for the sales manager, period. The sales manager should be at the front end of the game. They should be the starting pitcher. They should be the one out there opening doors for the salespeople. Here's why I say this. Sales managers have an ability to get meetings that other salespeople can't. Just because of their title, because of their nature, right?
Yeah.
They can reach across the desk and speak higher up. So I challenge sales leaders. What are the opportunities you're bringing to your people? And if you would spend more time bringing opportunities to your people and let your people close, because again, if you come in and do the closer, what you have turned your salesperson into nothing more than an Uber driver. That's all they are. So that is one premise. The other premise is this. You have got to be continuously asking yourself, am I closing the sale or am I opening a relationship? Am I closing the sale or opening the relationship? This is so fundamental, so basic, but it is amazing. We have got this ingrained in the salespeople. We close the sale and then it gets passed off to customer success, and the salesperson never is engaged with that customer again. Big loss of opportunity. If I go and I spend all this time developing this relationship, please, I want to keep that thing going.
Yeah.
And again, if the customer bought from me because of me, there's some equity there. Hello. So these are just simple. So, I mean, there's so many little things, but you're right. You can get down to the end of the quarter, and I've been there. And it's tough. And this is, again, where you as a sales manager, what have you been doing to manage up? What have you been doing to manage up? And you have probably, and I talk about this not in this book, but in a prior book, I worked with an account exec. He was my counterpart. And every Friday we had to go in and justify our numbers to our manager. And we were having a brutal quarter. And I'll never forget, he would go in and say, oh, it's great. It's great. It's great. My numbers are great. And we say, your numbers suck. Your numbers are terrible. I know, but he doesn't need to know that. Look, you're getting chewed out every Friday when you go in to meet with the boss. I'm going to wait till week 12. Wait until week 12 to go in and tell him. That way I only get chewed out once. I don't get chewed out. And this, again, there's a lesson there because too many sales managers aren't speaking the truth to their management. Hey, this is where the numbers are going to come in at. This is what's really going to happen. Don't paint this picture of a false expectation because that's going to set you up for failure. You know, I learned a lot, and when I ultimately became leading a sales team, sadly, I'm going to have to admit, I tended to sandbag my numbers. When I was going to go into the executive committee meeting, I always sandbag my numbers because I wanted to make sure that I could deliver or exceed them. Because as soon as you throw a number out to senior management,
yep, they latch onto that like a Doberman.
They don't hear it, right? They don't hear anything else. Yeah. And it's the same thing with salespeople, right? I mean, this is the problem. Salespeople, be real to your manager. Forecasting is an element of doing things with integrity. Period.
100%. This is awesome. Loving this so far in this idea, coming in with an integrity-based approach. I feel like the referral component's also another one. I mean, we can do a whole other episode on that. I just did one on it. It was it had good feedback so far. But referrals I think it's a dying art because of the human-to-human relationship. But it is I think it's like you said, the measurement of how great you're doing at the integrity. I think it's also great in just the measurement of you as an organization. Is there any tips that you have that if I want to increase that, I mean, increase the level of my integrity, but when it comes to referral in general, what else can I do to make that better?
First of all, we can ask for a referral at any point that we've delivered value to the customer. Okay?
Sure.
So that is foundation one. Okay. So we'll say I just sold you Donald. And I say, hey, Donald, hey, this has been great. Who else do you know that you feel could benefit from the way I've been able to help you? It's pretty easy. That is so easy. And I can call you up 30 days from now, 60 days from now. Hey, how's it going? How's it working out? Now again, so many salespeople are afraid to call. Oh, what if they don't like it? Hey, look, they're telling somebody. You might as well. get them to tell you than tell somebody.
Yeah, I want to
Hello?
get you. Give me that update right now, so I
You
can
get
fix that.
give me that update. Don't go sharing it with somebody else. So I mean, have those conversations. This again comes back to we do not close a sale, but we open a relationship. Another very easy, and again, depending on the type of business that you're in, say, hey, who are the types of customers that you sell to? Now, again, as a salesperson, you better understand your customer's customer. So that's if you don't understand that, you've lost. But you want to be able to help your customer because are there some referrals you can give them? Here's what I found. The easiest way to get referrals is to give referrals. One of my quotas every week is to give 3 referrals. Every week I give at least 3 referrals. And that wonderful, just that referral space out there, it just eventually floats back to you. And even if it doesn't float back, hey, if I've helped somebody, that makes me feel good. That's what's serving. That's what integrity is all about.
Love this, Mark. This is a master class. I would, if I want to respect the 20 minutes of time, and we're coming right here to wrap up on this. I have not been the most integrity selling person. I'm listening to this episode. What advice would you give to me to make the change? I'm listening to this and I'm like, yeah, Mark, management still do a push. You're pleading to me, or let's change that. You younger Mark at that first sales company discovered this podcast and he's listening to this episode. What are you going to tell that Mark so that he doesn't get fired from that job and the second one?
Yeah, just speak the truth 100% of the time and you're going to sleep a lot better. It's funny, but I had to, one of the struggles I had getting the book out was because I had to make sure that I'm living with integrity. I had to make sure. I'll give you a very quick example. And again, I talk about it in the book and it happened last fall. I do a lot of keynote speaking around the country and around the world and had this great engagement, had on my books for a year or so. Great. Another company calls, hey, want you to come in and work with our team. Great. And it's going to be perfect. I'm going to go from one city to the next city. This is perfect. About 3 weeks out, I realize on the calendar, they're on the same day.
Oh my goodness.
Now it's like, oh no. So I quickly call and I see if this one could move because it was a multi-day meeting and it's huge, massive company, massive meeting. Nope, they can't move. So I got to call the other company. And I just had to say, hey, I made a huge mistake. I blew it. If you'd like your money back on the deposit, happy to send it to you. And I laid out like three different options. Could we do a different day that week? Could we first of all, I'll refund the money. Could we do a different day that week? Could we look at the week following? Could we reschedule? Could we do some different time? And it was interesting, but the VP of sales went to the CEO and came back and said, hey, I appreciate your candor. We're going to move the meeting. It's okay. Wow. It happened. And that to me, it was like, okay, now I can go ahead and get this book out. There are times that you got to bite. And again, go back to this situation I had 35 years ago, Portland, Oregon. And I should have stopped him. And what's interesting is I've learned more from that in hindsight because I've remembered it. 35 years later, I still remember it.
Yeah.
Ouch. I guess I gave away my age, didn't I? Yeah.
So you're 36. I get it. It's okay.
Yeah, right,
okay.
Cowboy. Sorry, boy. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, Mark, this is powerful, and I appreciate you doing that, and appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah.
Where can we go and get the book?
The book, go out to Amazon, best place to get it. Integrity First Selling. Both the hardcover, the paperback, and the Kindle version's out there, and it's available globally. The audio will be coming out as soon as I can get into a studio and get the audio.
All right.
I'm busy. Sorry. So anyway, and of course the website is The Sales Hunter. What's funny is people always ask me, what was your name before you changed it? No, it's always been Hunter.
I know, right?
When you got the name Hunter, you might as well run with it, right? Right? Oh, so yeah, thesaleshunter.com. So anyway.
Oh man.
And I think you're gonna be on my podcast pretty soon, right?
I am, and I'm excited for that. I always love being able to interact with you, Mark, and I'm looking forward to coming on the show. We'll get the book, and we'll make sure we get this out to the community and share it. And guys, it's in the show notes as well. Mark, Thanks for being who you are. Thanks for being a demonstration of integrity, demonstrating integrity to us, and appreciate you coming on the show and being here. Thank you. That was the one and only Mark Hunter. Man, he gave some great insights. His definition of integrity, I mean, I go back to it. I love it. It is, well, it goes back to just who you are as a person. But then the other component is that measurement of it, where it's based on those referrals. Are people referring you to others? Are people recommending you? Are people liking to do business with you? 2 years later, are you going to see them at a conference and want to talk to them, or are you going to be hiding from them because you sold them something they didn't need? That piece, I can't live with that. I got to have integrity. So I highly recommend it. Sales leaders, there's a lot of great stuff in here. And if you haven't checked out Mark Hunter, he speaks a lot and does a lot of great content. So for your SKO, he is a good pick. Tell him you heard him here on the Sales Evangelist, and also check out his book. Anyways, I want you to check that out, and I want you to find success with it. And if you want to improve your LinkedIn game, listen, guys, we're doing our LinkedIn prospecting course. It is amazing. It's a cohort, and way it works is individuals like you jump onto this cohort. We do 12 individual, max out of 25, in this cohort. And the great thing about it, over the course of 6 weeks, I'm going to help you to master LinkedIn and Sales Navigator. That's it. We're going to show you how you can generate at least 3 appointments per week. That is the promise that I give. And if you want to check it out, you can go to thesalesevangelist.com/LinkedIn. Again, thesalesevangelist.com/LinkedIn. I really want you to thrive. I want you to succeed. I want you to raise your level of thinking. Most importantly, I want you to have integrity, and I want you to go out and do big things. See you on the next one.